Exploring the health impact of cheese. The other night, I found myself at dinner with friends, gathered around a beautiful cheese platter. It had everything: Brie, cheddar, Gouda, mozzarella, the works. The table buzzed with laughter and conversation, but then my friend, who happens to be a doctor, made a comment that stopped me in my tracks. "You know," he said, "eating the wrong kind of cheese can actually harm your heart and circulation." It was like a record scratch moment. Cheese? Harmful? I thought I knew everything about cheese. It's delicious, comforting, and let's be honest, a staple in many of our diets. But this revelation threw me for a loop. That night, I went home and started researching, and what I discovered completely changed how I think about cheese. Now, before you panic and toss all the cheese in your fridge, let me reassure you, cheese isn't the enemy. In fact, some cheeses are surprisingly beneficial for your health, but others? Well, they could be doing more harm than good. In this video, we're going to take a deep dive into the world of cheese. We'll explore which cheeses are better for your heart and circulation, which ones to avoid, and how to make smarter choices while still enjoying every creamy, tangy, and satisfying bite. Let's start with the basics. Cheese is one of the most complex foods we eat. It's not just milk transformed into a solid form. It's a treasure trove of nutrients, proteins, fats, vitamins, and bioactive compounds. These elements can either support your health or, depending on the cheese, pose risks to your heart and circulation. For instance, did you know that aged cheeses like Gouda and Parmesan are packed with vitamin K2? This vitamin is crucial because it helps prevent calcium from building up in your arteries, which can lead to blockages. Instead, it directs calcium to your bones, where it strengthens and supports your skeletal system. Isn't that fascinating? But not all cheeses have the same benefits. Some are loaded with saturated fats and sodium, which, when consumed in excess, can negatively impact your blood pressure and cholesterol levels. High-fat cheeses like Brie and cream cheese are delicious, but can raise LDL cholesterol, also known as the bad cholesterol. And this can slow blood flow, increasing your risk of heart disease. Now, let's talk sodium. Cheese can be sneaky in this department. High-sodium cheeses like feta and halloumi are delightful on salads and sandwiches, but they can cause blood pressure spikes if eaten in large quantities. On the flip side, fresh mozzarella is naturally low in sodium and can be a heart-friendly alternative. This brings us to processed cheeses, the ones you find in individually wrapped slices or spreads. These are often full of artificial additives and trans fats, which don't just harm your heart, they can disrupt your overall health. When choosing cheese, simplicity is key. Always check the ingredient list. The best cheeses are made with just milk, cultures, enzymes, and salt. Now, I know some of you are probably thinking, is cheese really worth all this analysis? Let me tell you a story. A few years ago, a close family member of mine started experiencing circulation issues. They were shocked when their doctor suggested cutting back on certain cheeses as part of their lifestyle changes. It wasn't just about saturated fats. It was about inflammation caused by additives and how their body processed certain compounds in cheese. This brings us to an interesting point. Not all cheeses are bad. In fact, some can be downright good for you. Cottage cheese, for example, is low in fat, high in protein, and packed with calcium. Goat cheese is easier to digest for many people because it contains less lactose than cow's milk cheese. And aged cheeses like Grana Padano and Parmesan are nutrient powerhouses that can support heart health when eaten in moderation. Speaking of moderation, portion size matters. Many of us love to indulge, piling cheese onto our plates or snacks without a second thought. But did you know that a proper serving of cheese is about the size of a pair of dice? That's right, just 1 or 2 ounces. But how can we make cheese part of a balanced diet? The key is pairing it with heart-healthy foods. For example, adding a sprinkle of aged Parmesan to a salad with leafy greens, olive oil, and walnuts can create a meal that supports your circulation while satisfying your taste buds. Speaking of recipes, let me share one of my favorites, the heart-boosting grana salad. You'll need 2 cups of mixed greens like kale, spinach, or arugula, a tablespoon of olive oil, a squeeze of lemon juice, a handful of walnuts, and 2 tablespoons of grated Grana Padano. Toss everything together, and you've got a delicious, nutrient-packed dish. Now, Let's shift gears for a moment and explore the cultural side of cheese. Did you know cheese has been around for thousands of years? It started as a way to preserve milk in ancient civilizations and evolved into an art form. Different regions developed their own styles, from the creamy Brie of France to the sharp cheddars of England and the salty halloumi of Cyprus. And there's more. Some cheeses, like Camembert and Brie, are fermented, which means they contain probiotics. These friendly bacteria support gut health, and as research shows, a healthy gut is often linked to better heart health. Let's circle back to the question of lactose. If you're lactose intolerant, don't worry. Many cheeses, especially aged ones like Parmesan and Gouda, are naturally low in lactose. And for those who want a lighter option, ricotta, made from whey, is a great choice. At this point, you might be wondering, what's the bottom line? How can you enjoy cheese without compromising your health? The answer lies in balance and knowledge. Choose high-quality cheeses, enjoy them in small portions, and pair them with foods that enhance their benefits. Before we wrap up, let me leave you with a fun trivia question. What's the most expensive cheese in the world? It's called Pule, made from donkey milk in Serbia, and it costs over $1,000 per pound. While it's probably not in your fridge, it's a reminder of how diverse and fascinating the world of cheese can be. So, here's my challenge for you. Over the next week, take a closer look at the cheeses you're eating. Read the labels, try a new type of cheese, and maybe even experiment with one of the recipes we talked about. And don't forget to let me know in the comments, what's your favorite cheese, and are you planning to make any changes after watching this? Finally, if you're curious about the role of vitamin K2 in heart health, check out the video popping up on your screen right now. It dives even deeper into this fascinating topic. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next video.